Hi, my name is Joe Sweeney. I am the biological father of Sam Sweeney. Today's little video is I've called How to Educate. I'll say that again. How to Educate Sam. What it should be called, I suppose, is what's the required prerequisite before you even try to teach Sam. Before I go any further, two things I need to explain. One is the mess behind me, sorry about that. And secondly is my tooth that I knocked out with I had a remote control and I coughed with the remote in my and it smashed my tooth out, so very sorry about that. But there we are. So anyway, let's start. I've always maintained that Sam doesn't have a learning disability. Sam's always deliberately prevented people from teaching him. That's based on 25 years of experience and experimentation, and based on his condition, which was eventually formally recognised when he was 15 years old, some 10 years late, which it could have been had social services taken action, but that's a whole other story covered in another video. That actually validates my reasoning or belief of how I come to that and subsequently testing. So without going off track, just the very basics you have to understand. With Sam's condition, he will trust nobody. He trusts me, and therefore he no longer suffers from reactive attachment to the disorder as such. He's a recoverer, if you like. But he's in a situation where, yes, he can form a bond, an attachment. He has with me. I think most people that see me and Sam together would obviously say that's the case, which is good. Obviously good for Sam and good for me. But he's left with remnants of memories of his past, where when he pushed people away using all the techniques he's acquired over the years, everyone did things for him. Everything. If he didn't want anything, he'd just misbehave, and they eventually had to stop, and they'd do it for him. If they thought he couldn't do something, they'd say, do this, I'll try this, or however they worded it. Sam would go into one and, okay, I'll do it. Well, what a lovely environment to be that is, where you don't have to do anything. Everyone does it for you. So he's got this deep-rooted memory of being in a place which is great. Everything's done for you. That can't be the real life. It isn't the real life. So going a step further, you have to understand that when you're, I say teaching Sam, teaching covers everything, as I say, just making his bed to reading, writing. I mean, it's not just academic, it's everything. He doesn't want to hear your voice. He doesn't want you there. You're a threat. But you have to make him learn. Now, I keep using the word make. I can't use words like make. Yes, I can. Make. Yeah, you're making him do it. Are you causing him harm? Absolutely not. And I'm not suggesting you physically attack him or psychologically damage him in any way. This is a tried and tested method, and I'll explain why. So the best way I could do it is give you an analogy, and obviously the subject I'm talking about is just base 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3 is what I want to talk about, but you can substitute it for whatever subject matter you may or may not be trying to teach Sam. But it's Sam's psychology you have to address first, and you have to really appreciate how that psychology came about. So right, let's start off. This is Sam's pattern. He's with a carer, first time, and I've got a carer, teacher, whoever, it doesn't matter. And let's call it Monday. Monday comes along, so Sam, sit down. Sam doesn't want him. Has been with you before. He resists, and you have to use the clock. Now, there's another little video called Sam Clock. You have to see that, because the clock is your friend, and that's the way you get him to, again, comply. It sounds like you're forcibly making him do something, but no, psychologically he knows, okay, you asked me to do this, so if I don't do this, I'll lose out on something. In time he loses out, that's all. It's not a big thing. But for Sam, having to sit down is for 2 minutes quietly, or 3 minutes, whatever time you decide, is the worst thing in the world. I mean, he'd rather you beat him up than do that, for reasons, again, which we'll explain later. So anyway, here's the analogy. So Monday, he's with a carer. Okay, sit down, Sam, plays up, gets the clock. Okay, right. They prove the point. They know how to use the clock. Okay, I'll get it. Right, Sam, so right. Today we're going to discuss 2 and 2, right? So 2 and 2 is 4. Right, repeat, Sam. 2 and 2 is 4. Sam says 2 and 2 is 4. Okay. Right, we'll do it again. 2 and 2 is 4. Say it again. 2 and 2 is 4. Okay, lesson over. Sam's forgotten that straight away. Why not? Why wouldn't he? No one's gonna. There's no penalty for not remembering that, because tomorrow if you ask him 2 2 4, it's like, oh, he's forgotten. He can't retain it. It's you just can't do it. Well, Sam doesn't realise he has to, because there's no consequence. If you ask him tomorrow and say, what's 2 and 2? He says, I don't know, it's banana, is it? I don't know, I've forgotten. It's like, so nothing happens. Okay, that's great, okay. Now, bearing in mind, the thing that really annoys Sam is using his time up. This is what we use against him. But we get him to believe he's in control, because if you can con Sam that he's in control, when he's not, obviously, that's it, you've cracked it in one, right? So this, you have to follow the analogy. So Monday, 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 is 4, he's forgotten it. Tuesday rolls on. Okay, Sam, sit down. And so he complies a bit, because he remembers the clock things. He doesn't want to have extra time out. He's always trying to reduce the amount of time he's spending with you. Don't take it personally. He does it with everyone, including me. Right, Sam, today we're going to do 3 and 3. Right, 3 and 3. But before we do 3 and 3, we're going to talk about what we did yesterday, 2 and 2. Sam's thinking, oh, crap. I didn't remember that. I don't remember what the answer is. I mean, you sort of vague memory of saying 2 and 2. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. So, banana. 2 and 2 is a banana. No, Sam, try again. 2 and 2 is a orange. No, try again. 2 and 2 is 87. No. Now you've got to bear in mind that time's going on here, and Sam's in his mind, he's gone, oh, this is dragging on, this is dragging on. And whilst this is dragging on, of course, you're asking him questions. You're in control, the way he perceives it. Oh, they're asking me questions. He can't get up because he knows to get the clock, so you've trapped him. Oh, okay. So, okay. First time round, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's forgotten, which he probably has. Okay, Sam, 2 and 2 is 4. Okay, what is it? 2 and 2 is 4. Now remember, you can say the word remember. Remember that, because tomorrow I'm going to ask if you what 2 and 2 is. 2 and 2 is 4. You're going to talk about 3 and 3, but you're not going to tell him about remembering that. So, right, 2 and 2 is 4. Right, now we do 3. 3 and 3 is 6. Repeat, 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 3 is 6. End of lesson, Sam. Well done. Yeah, you sat down very nicely, or whatever. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Right, all day Sam's going to go 2 and 2 is 4. Must remember, 2 and 2 is 4. He's never going to remember 3 plus 3 is 6, because that holds no significance to him. What he's left with now is, I've got this person in front of me, his teacher, whoever, the person there, that has got this weird thing about every time he starts a lesson, or she obviously starts a lesson, they say what's 2 and 2, and you have to say 4. It's like their little code or something, I don't know, some weird stuff. So I'll remember that. So I'm laughing because I can imagine his face as this is going on. So roll on Wednesday. Okay, Sam, come on, sit down. He sits down even calmer, because he realises, yeah, okay, they know the clock. I'll get used to the fact that they know how to do things I hate doing. So okay, I'll comply. So okay, Sam, what's 2 and 2? And he says 4 straight away, all happy. 4, bang, got it. There we go. Let's move on. Okay, and what's 3 and 3? What? What's 3 and 3? What? Well, you didn't tell me. I had to remember that. Oh, 3 and 3. Is 3 and 3 87? No. 3 and 3 is 162? No. Is it 3? No. Again, but dragging it out. You don't just give him the answer. You got to make sure. Again, he is absorbing the fact that his inability to answer is incurring a time penalty. If you want to think about it. It's dragging out. Oh, I'm sure this person's going to tell me the end. Why don't they tell me now? Again, if he starts misbehaving, clock, sitting there, let him answer 4, 5, 6 times. Guesses, ridiculous. What's 3 and 3? Is it Thursday? I mean, he'll come out with all sorts of crap, even if he knows it, by the way. But there you go. Well, not that he knows it, because now he knows it's the clock and he's trying to reduce the time. So no, 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 3 is 6. Yeah, okay, right. Now we're going to talk about 4 and 4. 4 and 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 and 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 4 and 4 is 8. Okay, 4 and 4 is 8. Okay, right. Good lesson. See you tomorrow. Right, Sam's now got to work out what he's just been through, how he's done that. So he thought the 2 and 2 plus 4 was some code that you use, the person teaching him. But then, then they told me 3 and 3 is 6. So there's 2 things I asked. In fact, they're asking me all the things they've told me. They're asking me again. So, hang on a second. I bet tomorrow she's going to say, or he, whoever it is going to say, and what's 4 plus 4? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be in control of this situation. I'm going to remember. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So tomorrow rolls on. So we've got 2, 3, 4. I'm doing the maths now. I get it wrong. Thursday rolls over. It's like, right, Sam. Today we're going to do 5 plus 5. There you go. I knew it. Sam's thinking. What's 2 plus 2? 4. He says proudly. And 3 plus 3? 6. Without hesitation. Very good. And what's 4 plus 4? 8. Smiles all over his face. Gotcha now. Now, he's reduced all the time. Instead of saying what's 2 plus 2 and going through about 8 different answers, and 3 and 3 and going through about 10 different answers, and what's 4 plus 4 and going through a dozen different answers, he's cut that down to 3 seconds, or 5 seconds. What's 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, bang, 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 done. The 5 and 5, of course, he hasn't heard before, so that's okay. But now he's thinking, okay, I know how to beat this guy, Bob, lady, man, woman, whatever it is. Whatever they say to me, I'm going to learn. I'm going to remember. No, not learn. I'll remember, and I will reduce the time. It's as simple as that. Obviously, you can, as you go along, you drop it off. You can leave it. 6 days later, you can drop off the 2, or drop off the 4 or the 3, or mix it up. But so he's still got it in his memory. But the whole point is, you've taught him. No, you've got him to teach himself that whatever you, as the person teaching him anything, and as I say again, it's not just academic, it's anything, that whatever you say or do, he has to remember, because next time round when you ask him, and it will be next time, it's going to reduce the amount of time of instructions or supervision, whatever you want to call it, but it's, as far as Sam perceives it, it's control. That's his goal. He doesn't care what 2 and 2 is, or 4 and 4, and 3 and 3. He doesn't care what he's being taught. He's in like a rote fashion, but in the end, we're all taught rote things. If I say to you, the person watching this, what's 7 times 7? You say 49. Well, you haven't done it the right way. You're supposed to go 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 49. But we don't. It's rote. 7 times 7 is 49. It's always 49. Well, we can accept that. But we can work out subsequently how that comes about. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands, db. But it's so many things that are involved here. Is he's got to listen. He has got to listen to you. And we know how to get him to do that. Not in a violent way, but we can know how to get him to listen to you. We know that there's a punishment. It sounds punishment. An inconvenience, shall we say? Yeah, an inconvenience is a good word for him not remembering, because it means you're going to keep asking or guessing the answer. Try guessing it. No, try guessing again. And that's time that he doesn't want to be with you. So his incentive is to learn that. Now, it's the wrong incentive. Obviously, it'd be nice if he just... And there will come a time when he realises, hang on, what I'm being taught benefits me. It actually benefits me, I was told this, that and the other, but actually I can take it from this environment in my head, and when I'm in another environment I can apply that, and it gets me what I want. Oh, then you've cracked it. You cracked the whole thing. You've turned his psychology of learning on his head, and now he's back to where, in brackets, a normal child will be. Well, there's a resistance first of all. Once they realise knowledge is power, and believe me, once Sam gets that concept, knowledge is power, watch him go. Well, that's what I'm saying, watch him go. I mean, there could be a glass ceiling on Sam's abilities. I haven't seen one. There could be. He can only learn to a certain level, and literally beyond that, it's beyond him. But why would anyone put blinkers on him? And the whole problem is, you think, oh, come on. He's 30, in fact, he's 30 this year. If he hasn't learned a lot in 30 years, he's never going to get it. Yes, he is going to get it. You haven't realised the crap that he's seen and witnessed and gone through. He's like everybody. He's a pattern-seeking person, and he's very good at identifying patterns. But because it's rubbish in, rubbish out, he's come to the wrong conclusions. He's seen the wrong patterns, and he's come to misunderstandings, understandably wrong misunderstandings. And we've got to turn those round, and there's so many misunderstandings, it's almost impossible to identify all of them. But we can start from the basics, and that works. I mean, that's the whole thing. If this thing, if it doesn't work, you say, look, we're doing this, it's not working, great. Then video yourself with Sam doing what you say. Only because I'm not saying I'm saying that there's something wrong. You're not. Something's wrong in what's being applied. Maybe you misunderstood what I said, or misunderstood an example, or something. I'm happy to sit in with anybody at any time. Well, depending on how much time I've got left, to be honest. To show this works. It works. It's not. It's worked for 15 years, you know. And I'm teaching Sam a certain amount, and then he goes somewhere else, and people are undermining what we're doing by, you know, doing things a different way and confusing them, and so it's, you know, it's 5 steps forward, 4 steps back all the time. And now we're trying to get it, you know, 5 steps forward stays at 5 steps forward, or 5 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, that's a better ratio, but it's all achievable. But you have to go to how Sam perceives and thinks and lives out his belief system about, you know, being controlled. That's the whole thing. It's there, and we can get round it. I mean, the clock and the dad threat, we've covered that in other videos. It empowers you, and the amusing. Well, no, the difficult thing is the carers that have worked with Sam up to now we're going to change to use this system. It's going to be a backlash because Sam's going to think, well, hang on a minute, for the last 3 months, 6 months, you didn't say this, now you're changing it. But that simply has to change. But those people, guaranteed, will in, what are we now, 14th of July 2021, in 2-3 weeks' time, they're going to say, what the hell's happened? What? We've got a different kid here. Kid, he's a man, 30 years old, but you know what I'm saying. He's just down, he's calm, he's not jumping, he's not... Yeah. Welcome to our world. We've been there for a decade, well, over a decade. You know, once, because I kept saying, why all kids behave differently at home and school. Of course they do, but there's a small difference, you know, a little bit of a difference. There was such a, and I kept saying, if it doesn't work, if what I'm saying doesn't work, explain how at home he sits down quietly, at home he's not violent, at home he's learning, and at school it's outrageous. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. There's a big vast, and I kept saying vast difference. It's important why I said vast difference. You'll understand why in a second. And eventually the whole matter got referred to Keys Institute, Keys Attachment Institute, that's right, in Blackburn. They were sent, so much information, like statements and audio tapes and videotapes and just a mountain of information, with the brief of explaining why this alleged vast difference existed. So they did their assessments, blah, blah, blah. That was over a pair of weeks. So the question was, you know, yes, there's a vast difference. I'm hoping that's going to be the, you know, the outcome, because otherwise I'm looking like an idiot, you know. Because those days we didn't have videos all the time. It's just, take my word for it, really, take your parents' word. I can understand them being a bit... Although some actually came and witnessed it. There wasn't, you know, the independent people witnessed it, not friends of mine that saw things the way I want them to see them. So it came to, and I said, so is there a vast difference in his abilities at home and at school? And they said no. I couldn't believe it. I said, there's not. They said, no, there isn't a vast difference. There's a vast gulf between the way he performs at home and school. And it's like, they said the same thing that I've said for the last 20 years. Why don't you go with what works? As long as you're not hurting something. Why wouldn't you do that? Policy do this, policy do that. Well, stick your policies. Why not try and improve Sam's life? As long as you're not hurting him, you know. Obviously that's the criteria. Anyway, I've again babbled on for too long. Hopefully, and this really has got to mean something to somebody that's going to be engaged with Sam. He's going to try and walk all over you. He's had, 25 years of honing his talents and his abilities to do so. So thank you for being involved in my son's life, and I really mean that. But please take this information and go forward with it. Pay it forward. I'm paying it forward. That's all I have to say. Well, no, I've got so much more to say, but that's all I've got at this time to say. All right. Thank you very much indeed for listening, and thank you once again for helping my son.